Do 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 do.
Music break.
Yeah. Okay. What? The thing I love about chais is even when they get watered down, they're still good. You know what I mean? Like sometimes coffee,
Yeah.
if it gets too watery, it's like eh. But chai, like it just keeps that cinnamon punch with every sip.
I need to try the Babes chai. Shout out. This video is not sponsored by Babes Coffee,
But it could be.
but it could be.
Yeah. We're interested.
This is from Babes.
Hit us up. I want unlimited chicken butter biscuits, whatever they're called. Those are awesome.
I want unlimited bacon, egg, and cheese on the croissant. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Okay. My name is Brendan, and my involvement would be mostly photography and videography, and then I book shows here and there. Just like a couple every year. For the first year I lived here, from 21 until 22, there was no live music in San Marcos that I was interested in or had any passion for. A lot of it was just country music at bars and stuff, which no hate, it's awesome, but a lot of young people don't vibe with it as much on the weekends, especially you kind of want to just have fun and let loose. So I was going to Austin all the time for the West Campus co-op shows, once a week or more. And so I was meeting a lot of people there and connecting with all the bands, doing videography and stuff for them. And then I was I'm really tired of driving and my car is breaking down all the time. So how can I make this easier on myself and also bring more people to have a community here? And so my first thought was to join the radio station. And I was okay, this could be cool. And that it was cool, and it is cool, and I love it. But it's a lot more established. And so I kind of learned quickly, maybe what I'm really passionate about is DIY. That's the aspect of it, not this cookie cutter, very, organized thing, where you have to, check all the boxes. So that's when I was okay, I think I can do this on my own. And so I just decided to book 4 bands to come to San Marcos for my birthday. And it went not that great, but I learned a lot, so yeah.
So kind of going off of that, what are the first steps into one, booking a show, and also kind of coordinating these events?
Usually the first step I think would be reaching out to bands just to see if there's any interest on their end or if they're free. Because once you have a lineup, they're more flexible with changing dates. A lot of times bands are just excited to play, so as long as you have their interest, that's kind of my most important part. Because the way I see it is if you threw a DIY show and you promised bands but then no bands come, you suck. And also people aren't gonna pay money just to go to the Brendan show. So I think booking is fun and cool, but you're not really doing all that much. People are coming for the music.
Yeah.
So I kind of think it's weird and dumb. No one here does it at all. I'm not calling anyone out, but it would be weird to be a booker that has an ego, because it's people are coming for the music, and if it's a good lineup, I don't think it really matters who's throwing the show. So yeah, I don't know, that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the bands are the most important part. That's where you start. I think like I just go through flyers and then I just see bands that have played together that I enjoy, and I'm like, okay, I'm sure that they're awesome. Let's do it. And so I think, yeah, I follow like a lot of bands on my photography page. Like I just go through and follow all the bands that are on flyers. Yeah. So I think that's a super helpful tip, is just like go through past shows or like at venues you like. They post all the flyers usually, so you can go through. And then even when bands don't have like music on Spotify, they'll usually have like a story highlight of their live shows, and then you can just listen to their stuff through like those like 10-second clips on Instagram, and you'll get a good vibe. 99.99% of local bands are awesome to work with, and like it's never an issue. So that's like not even something I worry about, because like I said before, they're all just super excited to play. And so yeah, I think it's super important to give like smaller bands a shot too.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't base like your booking priority over like the biggest bands, like numbers wise, as far as like listeners or followers or whatever, because sometimes they're not the best. Sometimes the best bands are the ones that like, you know, they're just getting started, or they took a long break and they're coming back, or whatever you have. Like it's just really up to the music they create. That's kind of obviously all that matters. I think going back to it, like the lineup is just like easily the most important part. Like if it's not bands, this is also a rule that I like kind of live by or book by, is that like if I wouldn't listen to the bands myself, I probably won't book them, just because it feels like disingenuous. Like if I'm booking them only because like I think other people might like it, like I'll just let them book it then. But for me personally, I would only want to work with bands that like I've like connect to their music. I think a big important tip that I have is that like you shouldn't, if you only have 4 spots or whatever and you have 3 bands, don't like mass send invites to like 10 bands at once for that 4th spot, because then you'll have like you'll have like 7 say no, but then if you have 3 say yes, that's wrong. To be like, oh well, actually we only had 1 spot and I was just sending out a bunch to see who would like, you know, take the line. And so it's kind of just important to like take each band individually and be like, oh, I'm not just using them to like fill up a bill, but like I want their music for a reason. I connect with their music, and like whether you know them or you've never seen them before, like just like having bands to like fill spots is fine, because like they still get to play and like, you know, they get paid and stuff. But it's way cooler when like you personally have like a interest in their music. After that, I would just like start getting flyers made, probably, just so that like you can spread the word, because that's super important. Once you have the lineup and venue, that's kind of all that matters. Then you just like hope for the best. Woohoo!
So what motivates the ideas of the event themes, like headlines? Is it random, or does it kind of align with like whatever's happening locally or like seasonally, like holidays?
I think like holiday themed events are awesome, especially Halloween. I feel like the best week in DIY every year is like the week before Halloween, because there's like a show every day and you get to dress up like a funny character from your favorite show or whatever, and that's awesome. And usually like there's like multiple shows in one day too, so you can just go around. Anyway, so I think like holiday shows are awesome. I eventually want to do like a Christmas show where it's like a toy drive, so that's, no one can steal that idea. It's on camera, my idea. I'm sure it's been done before, but like anyway, so yeah, I think holidays are cool. And then for like random events, like themes, it's usually just like brainstorming with whoever I'm partnering with to do the booking, and like whatever I think would be cool, usually other people would probably think is cool, just because like I have a pretty good handle on like what like I guess music goers like, or what they want to like dress up at. I think costumes are a cool thing. Like that's kind of under like valued, because it's like you kind of have to make it make sense. Because like, why would you have a costume party in July? But like, if you can make it work and it pays off, it's very awesome. So I think like anything where you get to dress up or encourage people to dress up, I think like Pearl Street has like a history of doing a good job with that, and like really random ass like themes. Like the first one I went to, or the first one I can remember, was like Indie Sleaze versus Jersey Shore or something. Like why? But like it's cool because it's better than just come and listen to music. So it gives you like motivation to be like, oh, what are you wearing? What are you wearing? You know what I mean? So it gets you excited.
Do you think that there's any like kind of unsaid qualifications or verifications that like people kind of need to become a booker or like to get into like coordinating these kinds of events?
I don't think there's any specific qualifications. I think it helps if you're like a people person, because then like crowds are more like inclined to like support your stuff and just be like kind. I don't know, like if you have like people in town that know you're a nice and good person, they're going to be happy to like share your flyers and promote your show and like invite all their friends out. As far as like business wise, I had no qualifications whatsoever. I had never done event planning. All of my jobs like before this have just been like food or like retail, so I don't have like, you know, event planning experience. I think if you just go into it with an open mind, things are going to go well as they can usually. And it's really just like try not to stress out. I still do all the time, like up until literally the first band starts playing, I'm gonna throw up every time because I'm like, this is gonna be a nightmare, it's the worst thing ever, no one's gonna come, blah blah blah, every time, and then I have to convince myself, okay, no, I'm just having fun. So I think you have to be very go with the flow, because like I said earlier, my first show was kind of a nightmare. It was at a private park, and I didn't have a generator because no one told me to get a generator. I was like the first one to do DIY at private park, and I asked a bunch of people, and they're like, no, you won't need one. I'm like, okay, cool. And so I did my show there, and all the power got cut out, and everyone was sitting in darkness and silence for like an hour, legitimately like an hour after I took their money. And people were like, so what's going on? All the bands were standing there like, dude, this sucks. And I was like, yeah, I know, I'm so sorry. And then we finally got the power back on because we had to like find another outlet because it literally burned the outlet, like exploded it at that house next door. So yeah, that was very awkward and scary, but like I had people there to like keep me sane. You don't have to be qualified at all. You have to just want to have fun, love people, love music, and be open to things changing and adapt to the changes well, because sometimes like things are out of your control, and if you just like freak out, then everyone around you is going to freak out. So it helps to just keep a level head, and also realize it's not that serious. And if it's like, you know, it's not like a huge music festival, which is what I love about it. It's like people that are there understand that it's just like bands that just want to play because they have a passion for it. And so it's like you're not going to really like piss anyone off if it doesn't go perfectly. Like everyone's usually very understanding, which I appreciate.
Also, I feel like people are also there to have a good time, and I feel like that's, and one, have a good time, and also to meet people, and that always happens. Like yeah. I've met you, and I've met so many other really, really amazing people through like just going to these shows, and it brought me here today. But moving on to the next question, on like kind of that topic of like booking and whatnot and kind of loving people, do you think there's a way to collaborate with other bookers, especially here in San Marcos, but even extending to Austin, to kind of where other events don't overlap over each other, where we can just kind of throw one giant kind of event?
Okay, good question. I think there's like some established people that have just been doing it for a long time. So I think like reaching out to them and being like, hey, what do you have planned for the next couple months? Usually they have like a calendar going out for a while. And then being like, okay, cool, I just want to make sure, like, you know, if you're doing a show in Austin, that like it won't be the same like time as this or whatever. Because yeah, it's like tough, because if you want to go to both but they're like 40 minutes away, it's kind of hard if you're like driving there and back. So I think as far as collaboration, many people, like everyone I know that has ever done a show, is super open to it. I don't know anyone that would be like, no, I don't think you're a good fit for my brand or whatever. Like, who cares? I don't know. Shut up. I don't think like anyone has like this like superiority complex where they would be like, no, I don't think I want to work with you. You've never done it before. What if you're lame? Because it's like, if you show interest in it, that already is like a step above like the rest. And so like you show dedication. So I think collaboration is awesome because like, one, you just get to work with people, and that's like important. And two, it saves a lot of money because like if you're using a venue, like let's say Private Park for example, and it's like $250 or whatever it is now, like you get to split that 3 ways if you have like 2 other collaborators, versus like if it's just you yourself doing the show, that's just up to you to like cover the costs. So I think that's important, and it helps keep DIY like more manageable for college students. And like when you're renting a generator or like you're hiring doors people or whatever it is, like it just helps keep things on the less expensive side when you're like splitting things with people. And also it's like a broader reach for people because some people like have only been to this person's shows, but if you work with them, they'll be like, okay, now I see that this person does it too. I didn't know that. And we can, celebrate that and go to their shows afterwards and whatever. So yeah, I think collaboration's awesome. Yeah, I think it's a future question, so I'm kind of cheating a little bit, but I think we need more like open spaces. That's like ideal to me. It's like huge open field would be like a dream, but then noise ordinance is like always an issue, so.
That's a great point. I feel like I feel like that's like a big like portion of just doing DIY too, is literally creating that space and creating that platform for these people and like working with what we got.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what kind of makes it so, as you said like earlier, it makes it so genuine, and then it also makes it, I feel like, just more like special, I guess, just because people, I don't know. I feel like you're able to kind of get more one-on-one with all of these bands. But yeah.
Woohoo.
Woo! What are some things that you love about these shows and events, but what are some things that you wish could change?
Okay. The thing that I love is just hearing people, whether it's like at the show or like the next day, being like, that was the coolest thing ever, or like, I had so much fun. So yeah, I think like just the crowd response to seeing the bands is always awesome. And then also on top of that, having the bands like message the next day and be like, that was one of the coolest shows ever. Like, thank you so much for having us out. Like, anytime you want to work together again. Because then that makes me feel like, okay, I accomplished something cool. And then, I think it's just like all about creating a safe space for people that like are different from everyone to like just come and like have fun. So I think that's like one of the best parts. All of those things, I guess I named 3 things, but yeah, for people just to come and like, they don't have to like fit in anywhere else, but if they like have their group of friends with them and like the bands are playing cool music, then they can like kind of forget about it all. So yeah, I think that's super awesome. What I would change, I mean, I don't know. I kind of am happy with where things are at. I think like if it was up to me, we would just have like more venues, but that's probably not the answer you're looking for, because that's a later question. So
I mean, that's also like a part of it. I feel like I started off with that question because I know that's one of the things like that we all wish for, is just more spaces for like just people like us to be creative.
Right. Yeah. I think having like house venues would be super cool, and that's like my dream, would be to have like a friend with a house that's like willing to open it up. But that's like such a big ask that like I don't expect anyone to be down with, just because like even just having like a big group of people at your house is already nerve-wracking, even if it's all your friends. But to have like strangers come in and then like your neighbors could get mad or whatever. So I think backyards and houses are like super cool and very memorable, and a lot of bands love playing inside living rooms and in garages because like the capacity doesn't matter. It's just a cool place for them to like say, oh yeah, we played in this person's living room. Like that's just cool to say. So I think more of those would be awesome. But we kind of have it really, we're very lucky to have Private Park, I think, and Alchemy. I think both of those are like super convenient, and they kind of check all the boxes. Like the big issue you run into with DIY is like the noise complaint thing, like the city noise ordinances. With those two venues, that's like not an issue, which is awesome. That's a big thing you run into with like house shows, which is why like the West Campus Co-op thing is so cool, because they are already established like as music venues, and they're such a big house that like the noise doesn't really carry that far out of it. And so I don't think we have any like houses that big. So
I think there is a co-op here.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
I don't think they do anything though.
Yeah, I know they have like a skate ramp in their backyard, and they had like a marketplace there one time.
Oh, interesting.
But the person that I've talked to said that like there's apartments right behind them, and they would be like very keen on getting it shut down because of the noise.
Interesting. So how do you keep a safe space for event goers? Do you think more rules should be set in stone? If so, what could help?
Yeah. Okay. So for me personally, I think having a list of people that like are not allowed in, like there's like known weirdos, obviously like throughout all of Central Texas. So like reaching out to other bookers and being like, hey, do you know of any people that like are uncomfortable, or make people uncomfortable, and if so, like they're just on the banned list or whatever. That's so easy to do, and if you're stepping on people's toes, oh well, they'll get over it. They can just not be a weirdo. That's their job. It's not mine to like accommodate whatever. So I think that's a very, very important part of it, is like if you let people know that there's not going to be weirdos there, they're more inclined to feel at ease and like let their guard down, which is super important, because they're there to have fun, not to be like, oh my god, this is that person that was a creep to me 2 years ago, and like I have to like keep my distance from, because then they're on edge all night, and that's not fair. And so I think having like a robust security team is super cool and important, and helps a lot. And then I think having shows be 18 plus is ideal. And like if it's up to me, that would be like the way to go every time, just so that it makes things like easier, and keeps like people safe from being like in weird situations. So I think if it was up to me, like all shows would be 18 plus in the DIY scene in San Marcos, which we don't really have a huge issue with like high schoolers trying to come to stuff, because like we only have like one high school, and I don't think they like care too much. But I know it's like a thing in Austin that's like more of an issue. At all ages shows, you can just run into more like trouble that way. But also there should be a space for like teenagers to have fun and listen to music too. So I think finding a balance for both is important, because I know, like going back to it, a lot of people like DIY shows are their like safe space, or where they can be themselves, and just because you're like 16 doesn't mean like you should just have to stay at home or whatever. So I think just finding a balance of it, and like if there's going to be like BYOB, definitely make it 18 plus, and make sure you have, like I said, security and like people keeping watch, and then like a set in stone list of banned creeps is super helpful. Also, like it helps to book bands that promote inclusivity, and like when you have bands that promote their own like fan base to be who they are and to be like diverse and stuff, then you'll like bring in the crowd that is more accepting. So I don't think there's like an issue with San Marcos, any San Marcos bands, or like the bands that I've booked being like any kind of haters. So I don't think it's an issue as far as like what I've run into, but it definitely does. I think the reason it has like been easier for me is because the bands that I like choose to work with are all like super cool and accepting.
So, do you wish there were more DIY spaces available locally? In a perfect world, where would it be?
I think the perfect world would have like really funny places have DIY shows at them, and by that I mean like just last weekend there was a show in IHOP in San Antonio. I think that was on like the 15th or something, and I think it was all like hardcore punk bands or something, which is so funny. And the fact that they like got that signed off is crazy to me. I don't know how it happened, but I just saw pictures of like a huge crowd standing in IHOP, and then there's like people eating like 2 feet away from them. So I think that would be very cool. And if like anyone watching has any like family members that own restaurants that would be willing to move all the tables out and have like a huge party, that'd be very cool, and let me know. Because I've done a lot of like networking around here for restaurants. None of them are down, which makes sense because I don't know that I would be down either if I was. Yeah, I mean they'll just be like, oh yeah, like we could have an acoustic guitar or something. I'm like, that's not what I mean, but thank you, have a good day. So I think going to the perfect DIY space would be indoors, because like acoustically it sounds better, and like all the bands prefer that usually. From my experience, indoors, and then big and open. So like I think usually there's always like a pretty decent crowd, and then when you have to turn people away, that's very sad. And so capacity of like 200 plus is ideal, and because no one wants to like get all dressed up and be cute and then come with their friends and they have to like stand in line for 2 hours. That's like a total vibe killer.
Yeah.
So I think like as big as it can be, and as indoor as it can be, and as cool as the owner can be. Those are like the 3 big checklists. Private park hits 2 of them. It's just outdoors. So like every time there's a show there, I'm always like sweating bullets leading up to it that it's going to start raining or something. Because that's always my concern is like...
Oh my gosh, don't.
Yeah.
Scared.
No, you're fine. You'll be fine. But like, I remember for the November show that I did there, I was checking the weather app like a madman, because like literally it would be like 1 hour it said it's gonna rain all day. Then I checked the next hour, no chance of rain. So you just got to be careful if you're doing an outdoor thing, because the amount of shows that have been postponed at the tunnels because it's been like flooded out, that's sad. So I would love to see more house venues pop up. Like I said, that's like a huge ask, and like not everyone's comfortable with opening up their home to strangers and bands, which makes sense. I live in an apartment that's like 500 square feet, so I'm only not doing it because I physically can't, or else I totally would. If I had a house, it would be like literally like at least once a month shows in the backyard, but alas, maybe like next year or something. I don't know. I think some friends are moving into houses, so we'll have to like check it out.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
No, I know it's tough, and then also like once you get there, you still have to have like cool neighbors, which is like scary sometimes. So yeah, I think bars are nice because they have usually their own PA system like already plugged in, and like they have monitors and mics and like drum mics and all that awesome stuff that bands love for like sound quality. But sometimes venues will like take 50% of the cover, which is kind of steep in my opinion. I don't know what it's like in Austin.
It's weird.
Oh my god, what is happening? You're not gonna believe us, but there's like a fox running across.
What is that?
I like wish I could show. We're just gonna put like a Google image of whatever like we think it was. It's still there, but yeah, it's a like, that's all I can say. It's a wild animal. It looks like a little fox, but like a cat kind of. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I think it's sad that sometimes venues want to take like half cover or more, because then it's like, let's say only 150 people come, and it's like a $5 cover, and then half of it's taken away, which makes sense. Like you have to pay staff and like keep the lights on and AC and all that. But then it's like sad for the bands because they just don't make that much, which that's my huge thing. I always want the bands to walk away with like a nice check, because again, like the people are there to see the bands. So I think it's very important to make sure the bands get paid, and like everyone has a good time and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think more DIY would be cool. I think we're very lucky to have Private Park and Alchemy. I think Alchemy is like legendary. The fact that like he's opened up the store to have shows like 3 times a week now is like insane and so much work. But I think it's paying off because a lot of people like now see that store as like in a very different way, and it's like established itself as a venue, and it will like go down in history as like one of the coolest places ever in San Marcos, in my opinion. So the staff there is all great. Walter is awesome. The sound guy Angel is great. They're super accommodating to me and Hannah every time we do something there, like above and beyond. So yeah, just shout out to them. That's awesome. And Private Park is great because you can have like 1,000 people in theory. Like literally, how would you have capacity there? It's so big. And then even if you were to like get shoulder to shoulder, like people could still stand like on the street.
Yeah.
I think that's like my one like cool dream, or anyone, not even myself, just to have like a huge band there. I've done that research, and I've DM'd a bunch of bands that are like way out of my league as far as like booking capabilities, and I haven't heard back. Well, I did hear back one band for the November show. I was literally just like doing it for memes. Like I asked Weezer, and like, 'cause that'd be funny, and they didn't respond, obviously.
Okay, so real quick, can you give me a quick rundown about like your position at KTSW?
Oh, yeah, sure.
And kind of like what KTSW is for like new listeners?
Yeah, okay, cool. So I'll start from the beginning. I applied in May, I think, of 2022. Well, no, 2023, sorry. And I applied to just be in the promotions department as like just a general staff. And because I love promoting, obviously. It's like the thing I do is my hobby, is promoting bands. But so I joined that, and then I did that all summer, and then all fall, I was just like a normal staff. But it ended up that the multimedia department like collapsed on the first day of the fall semester. So we had like no photographers or videographers at all. And so I stepped up. I wasn't the stepdad, I was the dad who stepped up. So I was like, I got a camera and I'm already using it a bunch. Let me just help out the squad. And so yeah, I started videoing and taking pictures at all the KTSW events, like Third Thursday and like tabling and stuff. And so I kind of like found my groove there. And then for this semester, I am the videographer director for the music department and the promotions department. So basically all that means is like, even later today, I'm recording a live session with Minor Issue, a band from San Antonio. And yeah, we're going to be on campus at the station in one of the booths recording they play like 2 or 3 songs. It's called CDOC, and just like local bands come and play their favorite 3 songs. I record it, we mix and master the sound, and then put it on YouTube. So the last one we did in late January was Grocery Bag, and so that's on YouTube, and that was all my editing and videography. And then they mastered the sound because they had everything like mic'd up. It was awesome. Shout out to Logan. He's like a legendary sound master. So yeah, I'm just basically like videographer and stuff like that for studio sessions, and then like any of the live concerts we do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But then for the radio at large, it's just a college radio station. You can be a DJ on air, which is just like you say like, hey, you're listening to KTSW, we're about to play this song by this band, and then you talk about like some kind of on-campus event, or you talk about like a student resource on campus. So you're just like a DJ, like you would turn on the radio and you hear this guy talking about go to our website or call in right now to win tickets to this. Like that's what they do. And then there's like a sports department. They go to all the Texas State games and like interview the coach and take pictures of the players and all that. They do live broadcasting. There's the music department where they like get an album or 2 each week. They listen to the whole thing and then like review each song and post it on the blog. There's the promotions department that plans all the live events and does tabling. There's like web development people who set up the website. So yeah, it's just like a opportunity if you like music, or if you like graphic design, or if you like sports, or if you like social media, then that's like a cool opportunity, and you'll meet a lot of people. It's unpaid, and you can only do it if you're a student, but I think you can be like part-time and still do it. But it's a lot of fun, and you'll just like meet people, and it's a good resume builder for sure.
What a flippin' joke.
Man.
Okay.
The haters love to see me not be gracious and thankful and spread love, but I won't let them win today. Basically, the camera cut off, but I was just in the middle of thanking everyone that I love, and so I'm just gonna like run through it again. Christina is awesome. I already talked about it. Desire is my wife and lover, and she's great, and my best friend, and she helped me a lot with shows, and she does my flyers a lot of times, and she helps me edit videos and like give me inspiration, and she's like a true emo, so like a lot of her like childhood identity like comes forward with like the shows that I put on and stuff, and that's very cool, and she loves it all. And then also Hannah, super hella rad. She's awesome. She helped me book the first show. I really went into more depth on the first take, but because we're like running out of time, I'm speedrunning it, but I'll just like call you later and I'll just thank you for an hour on the phone. But yeah, you're awesome, and you help me and you help promote my shows, and you're a great friend, and it's super cool that like we're in this together. Shout out Gabby for this interview. It's super fun, and I'm having a great time, and this video is going to be epic, and I can't wait to watch it on mute because I hate my voice. And then the venues in town, Private Park and Alchemy. Go shop at Alchemy. I said like Walter's awesome, and Angel's awesome, and the whole staff is great, and buy all your records from them because they're super cool and local, and they love live music. And Private Park is awesome. Laura's awesome. She's super cool. Oh yeah, all the bands. Okay, so we did this like funny joke before, and like, is it funny? I don't know. But there's like a lot of people that I want to thank that are like bands that I've booked and photographers and stuff that I've like worked with. So like we did this whole like joke where it's like, oh, it's like a scrolling like credits list at the end of a movie, and then we did like, oh, we like this person, and was it funny?
I think it was hilarious.
It probably was, but you'll never know, and I don't know if we're gonna really commit to it as hard this time, but we'll do it anyway.
So here's a list of people that are awesome, and if we were here for 8 more hours, I would read them all by name, and you know who you are because I've thanked you before, and I will always thank you until the day I die. So here's an awesome list of people, and it's probably a couple more seconds. This guy's awesome. She's awesome. They're really nice. And this I drank one of your beers one time, and it tasted good, and thank you for the sip of beer. Cigarette. You gave me a cigarette. This person gave me a cigarette. That person gave me a lighter.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so you get the gist. That wasn't as funny the second time. But just so, and then the media thing. We were talking about like our favorite media recently, like movie, music, stuff. Basically, I just went through like a lot of the bands that I saw for unofficial South by stuff were killer. Provoker is one of my favorites. They're awesome. They're nice guys too. And Glixen was great, Scowl was great, Gel was awesome. Local bands, just refer to that list, because again, I think at this point I've booked maybe like 20 plus, so to list them all would take a while, and they're all equal in my eyes. They're all very nice. Yeah, beautiful. And then yeah, so movies, I said before, my like hyperfixation is Evangelion, the anime from the 90s, and I saw the movie in theaters and it was awesome. And that's probably it for me, so take it away.
My media of the week, we on my Receiptify, it is all Mannequin Pussy, new album. I got Heaven, I think that's what it's called. I love it so much. I dream book a Mannequin Pussy April 19th. Will it happen? Daisy and the Scouts, I think they've disbanded. That might be a lie. I'm going to fact check that. But I also love that band, or what they used to be. Silent Hill, love that movie. I love a good horror movie. insert my notes app of list of a horror movie because I somehow refuse to get Letterboxd and just review these movies on there.
Is that follow me on Letterboxd? We're gonna put a screenshot of my Letterboxd account and my top 4. Right now it's End of Ava, Her, with Joaquin Phoenix, Blade Runner 2049, and I think Lost in Translation is the 4th one.
All good ones.
So those are all great. So check them out if you haven't seen them.
What he said. And thank you again for letting me yap at you. And thanks for yapping at me.
Yeah, that's right. This is a whole yap fest over here at the Fighting Stallions. And then just do some B-roll of the, yeah.
And then until next time.
Until next time, thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll see where this leads.
Woohoo!
Woo! Finally.